Hello guys, and welcome to another episode which basically explains how I, kind of developed or kind of cooked out this build for the Wrathstone DLC. Cause since out of the patch notes, I found out that the Khajiit is losing its 8% crit chance and is gaining the 10% extra crit damage and crit healing. I had to find a way how to make this somehow usable as a werewolf, since I don't like changing races. So I had to somehow make a Khajiit Stamsorc and heavy armor work for a werewolf, and somehow to be able to use that passive efficiently. So, after I think 1 hour after the patch storm, I think I mentioned it in my last video, I remembered that there was a set called Mechanical Acuity, basically giving us 10%, 100%, guaranteed crits for 5 seconds. Here you can see, by the way, that was a outing with the werewolf guild that I'm in. It's pretty funny, just for shits and giggles, nothing serious, but we have lots of fun doing it. So anyway, yeah, Mechanical Acuity, guaranteed crits for 5 seconds. That includes double dot poisons, as you can see here, which is very, very nasty. Also, all magic abilities you use, so as a werewolf, when Mechanical Acuity procs, and you can a bit regulate it by using your Claws of Life, since the direct damage component of Claws of Life is considered a direct damage ability. So you just slap a group with it. And yeah, for each target you have a 15% proc chance. So if you're hitting like a 6-man group with it, you can pretty much get a guaranteed proc, since that's like a 90% proc chance overall. So yeah, you can regulate it pretty nice. And your crits, your heals always crit in those 5 seconds. And all your damage also crits. So you try and set him up, and as soon as Mechanical Acuity procs, you try and really pump up the pressure, pump out the howls. And it's also a nice side effect is that since you don't burst him like on demand, you try and set him up a bit with Acuity. And if everything goes right, your double dot poisons proc on him, your Acuity procs, and your monster set procs, but I'll come to that later. I also tested out lots of different varieties. I tried medium armor with the setup, heavy armor, dual wield 2H, dual wield sworn board. There you can see he wanted to fly. I tried dual wield sworn board medium armor, dual wield sworn board heavy armor. Actually, the dual wield rest of stuff and heavy armor worked surprisingly well, because the rest of stuff just so people just don't expect it, and it's pretty strong. So yeah, it was actually pretty funny having a rest alting on a Stamsorc, not gonna lie. And you can see we had a bit of an outing there with another guild I'm in. I was using the dual wield sword board on medium armor. It worked pretty well, not gonna lie, but medium armor only works really well if you're using a shuffle. And since I can't use shuffle in werewolf form, it just wasn't worth it. Plus, I did a bit of testing, and it turned out that my werewolf heal literally heals me for 2k more when I'm in heavy armor with this identical setup. Same CP, everything. 2k more heal with my Hessian's Fortitude. So, kind of figured that also that in medium armor, the crit passive that I get is kind of pointless with Mechanical Acuity. So I decided to stick with heavy armor. Also, the Magicka Sustain is highly beneficial as a werewolf. Plus, single target abilities like Soul Assault and Incap don't hit you quite as hard as they do in heavy armor, since you have that fat healing. I mean, my Vigor crits are literally at like 2.5k at the moment, and with next patch, Khajiit getting the 10% extra crit healing, they're going to be at like 2.8k crit Vigor, so that's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait for the Khajiit to get that long-deserved buff. Because at the moment, these are clips done in the Merkmar DLC, so obviously the Khajiit passes are totally pointless. It's literally like the worst setup this patch for this kind of armor setup. But I had to do a bit of testing, and if I can nuke people in this patch with this setup, I know the next patch is going to be really filthy. Because the Shadow Mundus is getting buffed by 4%, and the Khajiit is getting 10% extra crit damage. So that's like 14% buff from the Mechanical Acuity buff right there. Not to mention the change implosion proc as a Sorc. So that's like another effective 5%. 10% when the target's full health. So yeah, that's like a 19% damage boost, which I'm getting next patch with this setup. So if you're seeing people like pretty much getting evaporated in like 2-3 seconds, just imagine what this would be with 20% more damage. And you have a like small idea how this is going to work out in the Wrathstone DLC. Anyway, here you can see I'm transforming. Oh yeah, another thing which you might have noticed is that I'm changed the heal. Sometime down the line, I had a bit of inspiration, admittedly. And then I saw that, okay, you can either just use tripods and use a berserk, the Hessian's Rage Morph for the major brutality, or you can just get your major brutality with potions. It's not that bad actually. I got these nice pots. When I'm in werewolf form, I prefer these. They give me speed, major brutality, and stamina back and a stamina recovery. So that's pretty nice in werewolf form. I use that when I'm not under too much pressure. If I'm like under a lot of pressure, like in the situation you can see here, I just use lingering health, because when you have like 6 people charging on you, you'll go for the squishiest guy anyway. And in that case, you don't really need the major brutality to kill him, since our damage doesn't really depend on having a high weapon damage. Not that much as with other builds. So the damage loss, if you're like going in like tank mode with lingering health, is not too bad. You can live with it. I learned, especially in the first 30 seconds with the critical surge up, you'll have it anyway. Here you can see, took a meter. I didn't even bother blocking it, to be honest, because I knew that guy was like a healer kind of setup, so I knew his meter wouldn't do any damage. And also the speed bonus comes in handy. And another thing which I changed is, I went from Mighty in a way. I wanted to give myself a bit more flexibility concerning armor sets. So I changed my jewelry from, I think it was protective, it was double triune, to double protective and 1-piece swift. 1-piece swift is to give me that a bit more mobility. 1-piece swift, it sounds stupid, but it actually makes quite a difference. I can actually recommend it. And yeah, here you can notice my stamina is a bit low, so I fear him. Heavy attack, I notice he's not CC breaking, so heavy attack, Hollow Agony, and boom, he implodes. Then here come the next 2 targets, and the yellows come from behind, so it was a pretty funny situation, very nice fight. And you can notice that the Dawnbreakers, despite only having like 30k resistances, which is, well, I know it's a cap for werewolf, just take into consideration that Dawnbreaker does 20% more damage versus me, so that's me having like 13k less resistances versus that ability, so I have effectively like 15k resistances versus Dawnbreakers, and he's still only hitting me for 3k. So yeah, tankiness is absolutely fine. I'm satisfied with that. Yeah, and I was looking at it for monster set. I was like, I tried it more like Hina. It was pretty funny, but the resource drain and it's 500 weapon damage sounds cool, but damage-wise, doesn't make that much of a difference. There are better setups there. I tried Selene also. Selene again was nice, but only if it hits. So against the average user, he'll either step out of it or just start roll it. In both cases, yeah, foobar. So I was looking around, tested different sets, and I remember that there was this nice cancerous monster set which procced off light and heavy attacks called Zaan. So naturally, I had it in the bank. Just never really used it, to be honest. So I packed it out, golded it out, changed the traits. The first piece bonus of Zaan is 833 spell critical. It's pointless when we're in mechanical acuity mode, but when we're again in the rest of the time, it's actually pretty good. It makes our heals crit more often, so yeah, that's pretty nice. And then the second 2-piece item bonus is when you damage an nearby enemy, so melee, which is okay. I'm a werewolf, I'm only melee, with a light or heavy attack, which is pretty much all I do. You have a 20% chance to create a beam of fire. So that means every 5 light attacks or so, and I can light attack pretty quick on a werewolf, you have a chance of creating a beam of fire that will connect you to your enemy. And mind you, I calculated the tooltip of Zaan on the Stam build to be around 48k, if you calculate it up. It goes like exponentially, it's like 3.6, 4.5, 4.8 something, 4.6. It just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. The average target that I hit with it is around 14k in PvP. The squishy ones are like 20k. I hit a vampire in light armor for... I actually clipped it and calculated the numbers together to see how hard it was hitting for, because it's not there's no real method. We don't have buff trackers and fancy stuff like that on console. So I calculated the numbers together and I saw that it hit for a 21k Zaan. So yeah, you'll see a few videos, especially in the end, where you can see how filthy Zaan is on a werewolf. It's like, another nice thing is that when it procs, usually when I try and burst people as a wolf, it's like dodge, 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 dodge against the most users, which is an intelligent move, and exactly this dodge spamming is what Zaan counters so nicely. Because yeah, he'll stick near me, he'll try dodge rolling through me. You'll see that a couple of times. And then yeah, if Zaan will stay connected. So usually it's either start kiting like crazy, in what case I usually just back off anyway, because I have no inclination of chasing somebody around a rock for the next 20 minutes. I don't do that. It's boring as fuck. If you want to fight me. If you want to run, okay, goodbye. I'm not a persistent person with chases. Unless I really hate the person. But anyway, so yeah, this dodge roll spamming is so nicely countered by Zaan. Not gonna lie, I immediately fell in love with it. It is such a cancerous set. And especially on the werewolf, which already has a ton of pressure. Double dot poisons, which all crit when mechanical acuity goes off. And it also the crits of the double dot poisons also get amplified by the Shadow Mundus Stone and by the Khajiit crit passive. So the double dot poisons, especially when mechanical acuity goes off, oh, here you can see double dot poisons, mechanical acuity. He's like Breath of Life inside his Death Stroll. I fear him away. Howl, howl, boom, dead. Goodbye. Not gonna lie, that was highly satisfactory. Here you can also see I got bursted down by something. One heal, boom, good. Full again. And that's Scene's Fortitude for you. I'm not too worried about the low. When I get low on stamina, I'm not too worried because heavy attacks is so good at charging up your resources. So I have no problems like when I see, oh, my stamina is a bit low, oh, I'll just do 3 heavy attacks sequentially and my stamina will be full, usually. And next patch also is they introduce the new rule that when you heavy attack a target which is blocking, you will still get back half the resources. You can see I got hit by 2 dark flares which somehow lagged out a bit and they all came together. You can see my magic is a bit low. I healed up, boom, you can see 12k non-crit, healing ward, and I'm good. And I'm just gonna leg it. Here you can also see why I use the One Piece Swift. Also I have quite a lot of points on the sprint cost reduction for obvious reasons. Because that's the only method I have of like disengaging from an enemy as a werewolf. I don't have a snare removal. That's why I have to be so careful. And unlike other builds, I actually like killing things on the werewolf. So I know that they're like 50k troll build werewolves out there, but trust me, they won't kill jack shit. I literally had 3 of those 50k werewolves on me. I was in medium armor at that time. I was testing medium armor, and my health was full. I think they dropped me to 80%. So damage wise, I know the troll builds out there, but they won't do that much on the damage component. Here I tried bashing him, but somehow it didn't work. I don't know why, to be honest. I tried going for him. He's like Breath of Life, spamming to beat the band. I see that my buddy there is getting a bit bursted, so getting a bit low. So I go there, stun him and vigor my buddy there. We actually got chased by that. Those were like the rest of like a 50 to 20 man red Zerg. We just kept running until it was only like 5, and then we just attacked them. Here you can see why they survived for too long. There was like a CP 400 in the back who was a healer, and then there was like a CP 800 who was a annoying healer. So yeah, naturally, the Nightblade next to him tried like covering him a bit, but I mean I called it out into chat and we all just focused him. So yeah, anyway, the setup is working brilliant. Even in human form, against some players, when Zaan procs, even in human form, some people just die so fast. And especially with the amplitude passive affecting all damage next patch, it's going to be really nasty. With double dot poisons getting stronger like that, Zaan getting a 10% damage buff versus full health targets. It's going to be so nasty. I can't wait. Yeah, as you noticed, I put my wealth on the 2H bar. Since next patch, they changed the enchantments a bit. I thought it was kind of pointless using dual wield. There were no real bonuses, and besides, I really hate using rendering slashes as a spammable, or steel tornado. It just feels cheap, if you know what I mean. I only use it when talked into. Here you can see a nice example of why Zaan is so filled in a wealth. You can see he tries dodge rolling through me twice, 2-3 times. Zaan stays on him, double dot poisons stay on him, and the double dot poisons they proc very nicely. Everything crits, and he just dies. It's so nice against dodge rolling targets, you guys can't believe it. I'm probably going to upload it at the end of the week, to be honest. I just have to, when I think patch is on Tuesday on consoles, so I probably can't play until like Wednesday evening because never play on patch day. You can see he's blocking, the dots are just ripping straight through him. He's even trying wings, the dots just eat him up. It's so nasty, you guys can't imagine it. So yeah, definitely a very nice combo on Werewolf, the mechanical Acuity. And the double, thanks to the dual protective, my resistances are still very nice. And my heals are also very, very good. And if you really get smacked upon by like a group, and if you're in Werewolf mode, use lingering health potions, and yeah, they'll have a tough time killing you if it's not like a 8-man farming group. If it's like a random group, you can probably survive for very long against them. It's pretty nasty. You can see, even in human form, he leaves me the dodge roll, but nope, Zaan doesn't care if you dodge roll, so yeah, he dead. And it's exactly that's what I liked mostly about it, to finish this video off. It fits so nicely because the mechanical Acuity makes my double dot poisons and my dots in well form hit hard. That's why I also use the Berserker morph, in case you hadn't noticed. I changed to it sometime, so in the 2 weeks ago. And then Zaan, it's just nasty damage, and a lot of it is undodgeable. So anyway guys, I hope you liked the video. And I'll probably be uploading the build video as I said, end of the week sometime. So yeah, stay tuned. And good hunting.